All right, so let's talk for a moment. This one is for all you first deacon Geminis, Gemini moons in particular. This is the beginning of a moon cycle for you today. What does that mean? Well, cycles. Moon cycles are the felt presence of experience, your emotional flows. Where are you at? What are you doing? What are you creating or digesting? So what I do when I know that there's a moon cycle starting, if I'm awake and I know about it, then I just settle in. What am I feeling? What am I digesting? How do I feel? I basically feel there's a connection between the Four of Cups and the Eight of Swords. I feel that way. It's making me realize things. It's helping me to understand things. And it's helping me to realize I don't need to share everything I feel or see or any of that kind of thing. Because people will only be able to react or respond. And they will respond naturally if they're in alignment with themselves, and they have to figure out that language. And they will, because that's what an individual does. The ones who react will be in the unconscious flows. So looking at the turmoil of the world, knowing how the turmoil I see is not the turmoil another person sees, and the turmoil they see is not the turmoil I see. Realizing the cult of personality and the battle of beliefs, and learning Western tropical astrology, which is a 12ing with seasonology. You know, if you're on Earth, I don't understand why sidereal is supposedly superior. You live on the surface of Earth. You should figure out, that's a koan for you if you don't understand what that means. Western tropical is the closest thing to the individual. Sidereal is the closest thing to the group, so on and so forth. So this is why I'm a big WTA person. But I look at all systems. You can get the same information from any system. So go with what resonates with you. Now this is API. It's an open source so that disparate logics can find reason, meaning. And it's limited by you. You're limited by your understanding or acceptance of self. So I digress. Seeing the world, feeling the world. Okay, so individuation is an 11th house thing. Generally speaking, Western tropically evolutionary astrology speak here. There's a lot of truth in that. The Aquarian house, the unity. This is where the cult of personality rises to peak expression. It is highly collective energy. It appears individualistic because it has a leadership ability, quality, a visionary aspect to the individual that holds a lot of this energy in the 11th house. But as you know, you are bound to your relations. You must dim to communal logic. So a lot of people here are unconsciously possessed, and they're waking up to that possession. They're given the choice to fall into the entrainment of the not hysteria, to put the cult above truth, to put image above truth, or to be the truth themselves. And that can fall into whatever dynamics society or the community are capable of understanding. So tyrant, victim, savior, martyr are big energetics for this 11th house energy. You are either the boot or the neck, within yourself or without. So I see now the world, the feudalism of spirit, the culture wars beginning, the justification for the past and the present, dispelling all logic and reason and rationale from a progressive perspective. But those who are trained generally into collectivism and progressive dynamics are completely unconscious. They're led wherever the flow goes. And I'll explain why. So right now, the people who are closest to Earth, the people without as much extension of their persona into material possessions, titles, careers, image in relation to friends, family, communities, and society. People who do not have that tether, they are brought into that 6th house energy. The 6th house, to me, this 612, the unconscious being made conscious. So it is a connection from the past and the future through your perception, 1st house, experiences. So what you go through in your 6th transforms in the 8th, bridges through your relation to others and existence, the house of open enemies. Because no one is clean. We're all working through our shadows. So whoever you're in relationship is going to have to hold those shadows and be aware of their own. If it's to work. If not, it's just an open enemy, you know. So I know my enemies. I can be cordial, but I can feel. So this 6th house, 3rd world countries, people that live down to earth, the body is the mind. If you're in the body, manual things, living life, your intelligence is much higher. And that's lived common sense based intelligence. A product has weird stuff in it, you don't consume the product. Or you don't use the product to clean your house or your yard or what. It's just, I don't understand how insane people are. So that's 6th house common sense stuff. A lot of 3rd world countries, 2nd world countries, people are actually more intelligent because they're in the bodies. They are at the mercy of overlords and dictators, generally speaking. Or they are content. One or the other. So this 6th house is the only thing you really need to do in life. You know, why put up with the 9th, 10th, and 11th bullshit when the goal is the realization that can be had in the here and now through who you are and what you embody? what you do, your work, your ritual of life, bringing the unconscious into consciousness. So you can't bypass in the 6th house. And you know that because when you do, you die. It's connected to the body. So now we all got a 6th house. Look at your 6th house and think, how would that express for me? I'm this rising sign. This is my 6th house. What is my perception? It's based off my experiences. What are my experiences? It's based off of something. The nature, the nurture, karma, dharma, all that stuff. So the unconscious being made conscious through the here now. That's why Western tropical to me speaks of the psyche through the seasonology in resonance with Mother Earth, specifically Northern Hemisphere. But if you're on the South, remember every sign is an axis. You know, lean into the opposite sign for yourself. See how that feels. It's just a system. You don't have to hold it as if it's your badge of honor. It's just an idea. We're born all unique with different energetic makeup. That spirit coming to form through the life that you will into being. Do you have the will for the facade? Then do that. If you don't, then do the will for the truth, the 6th house stuff. You know, the 6th house is the most powerful house, hands down. If you master your 6th house, embody that, everything else falls into place. You know, why go through the race if the goal is obtainable here now, through you? What's the meaning of life to you? Isn't it a good life? You know, you get caught up in the mirage and the dream of all these other people's good life, and then you forget what it actually is. It's to be created through feeling into it and becoming the magician, the creator of your own existence, your own experience. There's a lot of 6th house people. It's a work house. They're content with the simple things, and a lot of times it's because there's a lot of unconscious trauma and stuff within them which binds them to a need to feel a truth and try and work that into existence. So we're seeing now where people in society, they're falling into 6th house. So people who weren't attached to their careers or societal status or the higher economic caste system are being empowered. Now everyone else is falling down, you know, they're going to be losing a lot of money. Propriety is becoming law. This is, I'm going to share some information from a book about cycles through Taoistic perspectives. Propriety is what is civil, you know. What's yours, what isn't. So the power of the battle of belief, you know. Are you a zealot for your belief, or are you acquiring it as you go? If you're going to be a zealot, create your own. You know, be your own fire. Be zealous with that, righteous within yourself, not for anything else. Just allow it to happen for you. But you can't do it unless you can get into the ritual of life in some way and feel into the meaning of that and bring it forth. So this is the power of the individual over the collective. When things get weird, the truth stands. And you'll know it within yourself if you're standing. If you're not, then you aren't in your truth. You can adjust. If you're lucky, and willing. And what is luck? They say it's when preparedness meets opportunity. So opportunity's always there, so it's just be prepared. That's sixth house stuff. And it's more prepared in mind and spirit. I'm not saving up. I don't even have, I'm not one of the, I've watched Dawn of the Dead 50 some times, and I'm not afraid. I know whatever I need when I need it, I'll have it. That's when I acquire the possessive spirit. It's in real time. It's not a fatalistic, programmed, safety insurance policy thing. I'm not going to live in fear like that. But it is smart to be prepared. If you do have land or a mountain, that's where I would go. Because I feel the next few years is going to be a major shit show. We're going to live the anoretics of Aquarius here the next 40 years. So, bring yourself into form. Alright, let's look at the live chart here. That wasn't a very high vibe message, but it can be if you find the meaning. See, I didn't plan it, but it looks like South Node is in the 12th here, conjunct the Ascendant with Juno and Venus. We've got the North Node, Neptune and Saturn in the 6th, where I'm at right now at this time. So I was bridging that information. The value changes, heaven to earth through you, healing the wounds of your spirit by standing in your own authenticity. How does that look? Imagine Saturn, Neptune, North Node here. Spirit to form. Delusions, illusions of the wounds of your spirit being realized through following what it is that feeds your fire, gives meaning to your life, to you as an individual. What does that look like? What do you do? Where are you? That's just as simple as it needs to be. Alright, that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for watching, listening, and being.